Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to start looking at the WIDA ACCESS exam. WIDA is an English proficiency test that's given to English language learners in grades kindergarten through 12th grade. It's used in many schools across the United States to measure the progress of ESL students in terms of their English communication skills and to determine when they are ready to exit an ESL or ELL program and transition to a regular uh, English speaking classroom. So this is a summary of WIDA Access, and so in these lessons we'll look at in detail at the listening section. But there are three other sections: reading, speaking, and writing, and here are the timings for each of those sections. So the WIDA Access Test measures all four language domains that are important for effective communication: speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And the test features questions across all five WIDA ELD standards. Communicate for social and instructional purposes within the language setting. Communicate for academic success in the content area of language arts. Communicate for academic success in the content area of mathematics. Communicate for academic success in the content area of science. And communicate for academic success in the content area of social studies. The listening section is the first section of the test. You will need up to 65 minutes to complete this section. And because WIDA Access is an adaptive test, the number of questions you answer and their level of difficulty vary. For each question, you can only listen to the audio once. So all questions on the listening test share the features below. Instructions are given through a recording at the beginning of each question. There are no written instructions. You usually answer 2 or 3 questions on the same topic. These questions get progressively more difficult. Before listening, you see an image that introduces the topic or context. You see the answer options before listening. These answer options could be images or text. You can only listen to the audio once, and the question comes at the end of the audio, so you need to listen carefully to be able to answer it. In this lesson, we'll practice answering some listening questions across all 5 ELD standards. And there are 2 questions for each ELD standard. So in class, 6 questions: communicate for social and instructional purposes within the school setting, communicate for academic success in the content area of language arts, and communicate for academic success in the content area of mathematics. And therefore, homework questions: communicate for academic success in the content area of science, and communicate for academic success in the content area of social studies. All right, so we're going to start with the first listening question. This is level P2. And here we have the answer choices: what happens in a fire drill, what is a fire drill, and what happens in a fire drill. So we'll listen to the audio.
Fire drill. This class is having a fire drill. You will listen to the announcement and answer questions about the fire drill.
All right, so now we're going to read the answer choices and then listen. So it says take a moment to read the answer choices, then listen. Um, the choices are A, to the library; B, to the playground; or C, to the cafeteria. You can take notes as you listen to help you answer the questions.
Take a moment now to read the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
Attention students. This is a practice fire drill. Listen carefully so you know what to do if there is a fire. If you are in a classroom on the first floor, please go out through the nearest side doors. These doors will take you to the playground. Go to the playground with your class and wait there until your teacher tells you what to do next.
Where should students on the first floor go during a fire drill?
All right, so now you can check your notes and review the answers. So the correct answer is B. Where should students go? Where should students on the first floor go during a fire drill? It's to the playground. And you can see the transcript, the actual transcript of what was said. And so the explanation is that option B is listed in what was the announcement, and neither of the other options is mentioned.
The fire drill announcement continues. Listen and answer questions about the fire drill. Take a moment now to look at the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
If you are in a classroom on the second floor, go down the main stairs near the library. When you get to the bottom, go through the front doors. Then meet with your class in the parking lot. Remember to stay with your class and walk calmly as you leave. If you are in the cafeteria or gym, go out through the back doors to the field area behind the school. Once you are outside, go to the fence by the field and wait there with your class until your teacher counts everyone.
Which table shows the correct exit for students on the first floor, second floor, cafeteria, and gym during a fire drill?
All right, and now you can check your notes. So the correct answer is C. If you're in the classroom on the second floor, go down the main stairs to the library. When you get to the bottom, go through the front doors, then meet your class in the parking lot. So the P stands for parking lot. If you're in the cafeteria or gym, so this is cafeteria, gym, go through the back doors to the field area. And then we already knew from the first recording that students on the first floor should go to the playground.
Points of view and volunteering. A language arts class is learning about authors' points of view. You will listen and answer questions about volunteering. Take a moment now to read the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
Volunteering means helping others without getting paid. It is important for communities. People can help in many ways. Have you ever helped others? Young people might do work that needs a lot of energy, like building or planting trees. They bring new ideas and energy. Older people might do quieter jobs, like helping with papers. This way, younger people can do the hard work.
According to the speaker, what kind of work do older people prefer?
Okay, now you can check your notes. So according to the speaker, what kind of work do older people prefer? Well, the answer was B, helping with quieter tasks, and that's supported in the transcript. Older people might do quieter jobs like helping with papers.
The class continues. Listen and answer questions about volunteering. Take a moment now to read the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
Volunteers are important in the community, especially in hospitals. They help in different ways to make a big difference. Some volunteers comfort patients and families during tough times. Others help with tasks that need strength, like moving equipment or setting up rooms. By helping together, volunteers make hospitals work better and improve the experience for everyone, including patients and staff.
Which statement reflects the view of the speaker?
Now check your notes. And the correct answer is C. Volunteers help to support patients, families, and hospital staff. And you can see from the transcript what it supports that answer.
Geometry. This math class is learning about geometry. You will listen and answer questions about points, lines, and planes. Take a moment now to read the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
In geometry, we use the words point, line, and plane to talk about shapes. A point is like a small dot, like a star in the night sky. A line is a straight path made of points that goes on forever in both directions, like a road. A plane is a flat surface that goes on, like a piece of paper with no edges.
What does a line look like?
And check your notes. And the correct answer is A. What does a line look like? A straight path that goes on forever. And so here, a line is a straight path made of points that goes on forever in both directions.
The class continues learning about geometry. Listen and answer questions about points, lines, and planes. Take a moment now to read the answer choices. Now listen and answer the question.
Words like point, line, and plane are called undefined terms because they do not have exact definitions, but we can describe them with examples. A point shows a spot or location. It has no size. A line is made up of points. It goes on forever and has no thickness. Points on the same line are called collinear. A plane is a flat surface that goes on forever. Points on the same plane are called coplanar.
Why are point, line, and plane called undefined terms?
Again, check your notes. And the correct answer is B. Why are points, lines, and planes called undefined terms? They do not have exact shapes or sizes. And here's where it's supported in the transcript. They do not have exact definitions. All right, so think about what we've covered in this lesson. Are the statements true or false? The listening lesson takes at least 15 minutes to complete. The listening test covers all 5 WIDA ELD standards, and you can listen to the audio for each question 3 times. So number 1, is false. It takes up to 65 minutes, not at least 65 minutes. Number 2 covers all 5 WIDA ELD standards. That is true. And number 3 is false. You can only listen 1 time. All right, so now you can think about your experiences in this lesson to maybe understand where you might need additional practice. Which questions did you find easiest to answer and why? Which questions were difficult to answer and why? And what do you need to remember to do when you take the WIDA Access listening test? And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.